Next, we need to configure source net policy to allow traffic for internal subnet and for DMZ subnet to reach outside. If you remember, previously we configure in this HQ firewall security policies. If you remember, these are the security policies, but still if you try to reach internet, it will not work. Neither from the DMZ it will reachable. And the reason is we need a NAT, network address translation, to be configured on the firewall. And for that purpose, we will configure two NAT policies. One for WAN1, second for WAN2, because we have two ISP, Internet Service Provider 2 connectivity. So these will be the name for SourceNet 1 and 2. SourceNet 1 interface IP is 1.1. If you remember, we configure these two IPs. If you go to network, okay, and go to interfaces, so the first one is 1.1 and 2.1. This is WAN1 and WAN2. Okay, next we will use a dynamic IP and port. There are many type of NAT, so we're gonna use dynamic IP and port. Source will be LAN and DMZ. We will keep both in one policy. The traffic will go from LAN to DMZ, and it will go to WAN1 and WAN2. It means from here to these WAN1 and WAN2, and from here to WAN1 and WAN2. Okay, and the interfaces of the firewall which will use for NAT purposes 1/1 and 1/2. And we are going to configure source address translation, because in these the source will be translated. The source is our LAN and DMZ. Okay, so these are the steps we need to follow. Let me copy just the name. We will keep the same name, and the first policy name is inside to internet 1. So let's go to our firewall. I already open, and go to policies and go to NAT, and from here click on add. Okay, and type the name. Similarly, it's better to give them a description. Okay, and the description, I will type the description in this one. It's better to give them a good description. So this is our description. Okay, original packet, the original packet will go from LAN and also from DMZ. Okay, and our destination zone is WAN1. Right now we are going to configure for WAN1. Okay, and the destination interface is 1/1. If you remember, WAN1 is on the 1/1, and services we will keep anything. Okay, and the source address can be anything, even though you can define the entire subnet of LAN and DMZ here. And destination address we can go to anywhere. And after that, translated packet. Okay, so translated packet, as I say, we're gonna use, there are different method. We're gonna use dynamic IP and port, and here we'll use the interfaces, these outside interfaces. So the interface is the 1/1, and the IP address of that interface is 1/1. So it will be translated on, everything will be translated on this one IP. So this is the way to configure it. Okay, and click OK. So this is our first NAT rule. So let's go back. So what I done, I give them description. I say the source, the traffic will come from these two zone, go to WAN1. Okay, and after that I say dynamic IP and port. And similarly, the same thing I need to do for internet 2 as well. Okay, suppose if one is down, so we have the second one. Even you can clone as well this one. I just change few things. Anyway, let me create from scratch. So I will give the name inside to internet 2, and similarly you can give them a description. So let me copy the description from here. And original packet, again the traffic will come from LAN, and it can come from DMZ, and this time it will go to WAN2, and destination for WAN2 is 1/2 as per our topology, 1/2. Okay, and source address is anything, destination anything, translated packet, so I will use dynamic IP and port, and I will use interfaces address, and here I will choose 1/2, and the IP address of 1/2 is 2.1 as per our topology, 2.1. Okay, and click OK. So now the source net has been configured for both IPs, and just click commit to commit the changes. Okay, and let's go down if we have anything. Yeah, so WAN2, we choose the port number and then 2.1. So now we can verify that both are configured properly. And after that, you need to commit the configuration. And now we can verify this one. So when the commit, so after that we can verify, and we can send the traffic from LAN and also from DMZ that it's work or not, because the policy is there, route is there, everything is there now. So if I go to terminal, so this is my IP 10.0.1.2. okay, and let's go to web browser to make them ready until, yeah, it's done. Yeah, so I hope so it will work now. So if I go to www.google.com, okay, so yeah, it's working and I can see now. And if I type facebook.com, so let's verify. Yeah, so Facebook is also working from this client. Let's go to DMZ server and verify, because we create this policy for both. And the DMZ, I can type www.google.com, and here is, so it's also working from DMZ. And similarly, if you want to test from DMZ2, so let's try from here twitter.com or something, and it's working. So all these systems are working. How we can verify? Let me close, and we can refresh this one. So you will see the hits on the NAT policy. Right now the first one is used. I told you it will use only the first one. So there is hit count 93, and is showing the same date, and is hitting this policy inside to internet 1, the traffic coming from DMZ and LAN, and is going on 1/1, and we can verify. Also from the monitor, we can see the traffic is coming from DMZ and going to WAN. Destination is 853 as well. And also from DMZ is going to here this IP, which is SSL and Google base, because we visit Google as well. And also you can go to session browser, and from here LAN to WAN 1, this was the source IP 10.0.1.2 which I show you, and here is, and this is the rule which they hit. Okay, so if I open it, so here you will see two flow. Okay, so from from zone is LAN, and this is client to server. Okay, so this is the client IP, and this is the destination. Okay, and destination has been translated on the WAN 1 IP addresses. Okay, so, and also even we can go to CLI as well. If I go to secure CRT, and let me open the firewall through SSH, if I have, yeah, this one. Okay, and let me type ABC812345. Okay, so let me log in, and from here we can also verify show session all. So here you can see this says source NAT. S means source and N means NAT. So we have a source NAT. So this is the source, and this is the NATed IP. Okay, the outside interface. And let me go to show running NAT policy. Let me see if we have the NAT policy. Yeah, so we configure two NAT, inside to the internet 1 and inside to the internet 2. And these are the detail which you can see. Okay, and we verify from there as well. So it's been working, and now from here to here we can go to internet, and also from DMZ we can go to internet. This was the procedure to configure source NAT on Palo Alto Firewall.